All right, law of cosines. Again, the sides of the triangles are all going to match up the exact same way as we did before. I'm not going to spend a bunch of time on that one. But with the law of cosines, this one is going to be if they give you two sides. So the last one was if they give you two angles, you can use the law of sines. This one is going to say if they give you two sides, this is going to be the formula that you're going to use for these ones. Okay? Again, they write it three different ways. Hopefully, I'm going to show you kind of how this thing works out real quick and easy. I'm going to get rid of my picture for a second. But this is kind of a little combination of Pythagorean's theorem and then the law of cosines. So if you can kind of remember Pythagorean's theorem-ish, you'll be able to remember the rest of it. Okay? So it's going to be side a squared equals b squared plus c squared equals 2 or negative 2 times bc cosine of a. I know it's a lot of stuff. You're trying to find, this is like your missing side. All right, so if you're missing side A, side B, or side C, you'll use the other two angles, other two sides, and then you'll be able to multiply it by the cosine of whatever the opposite angle is going to be. Okay? So again, it's going to be that side angle side is essentially what you're doing. So when we did all those theorems way back when, of using side angle side to compare those different triangles, this is what you'll use to figure it out. And hopefully you can kind of see it follows the exact same formula for every single one.
You actually you ready for other thing? You leave your elbows up.
I don't really know, but I think.
Did you want me to put them out?
You guys ready to go on then?
Yeah.
Okay. So following that formula, I also have it on the board up here. This one, it's giving me two separate sides, two lengths of the sides. It's giving me the angle, and it tells me the side that I'm missing. So based on how this is set up, I've got this length, I've got this length. Hopefully you can see that I have this degree, and it's opposite the other degree that I don't know. So when I set this one up, I will write it as x squared, because that's the side I don't know, equals 15 squared plus 19 squared minus 2 times 15 times 19 times the cosine of 125. Again, I just kind of follow this exact same rule. That's the side I didn't know. The other two sides I did know. That squared plus that squared minus 2 times the two sides I know, cosine of whatever the angle is. Realistically, this one just kind of turns into a lot of plugging things into the calculator, which is why I'm not going to give a bunch of problems on it. But I get 15 squared is, I'll kind of write all the steps I have out. This should be 225 plus 19 squared. That one's going to be 361 minus 2 times 15 times 19. Again, I'm going to do a couple steps. Minus 570 times cosine of 125. So I'm going to put in parentheses. Cosine of 125. That one gives me a negative 0.574. Okay, notice that I got a negative times a negative. So times that negative 570. When I go through and do these extra parts of the steps, it'll be 225 plus 361 plus 326.9. Again, depending on where you round it to. I've got all those ones together, so 225 plus 361 plus 326.9. I'm left with x squared equals 912.9. The very last step, and this is kind of where I'm talking to Mr. Big Dollar people kind of are making simple mistakes. This is saying x squared equals this. So to get x all by itself, I have to do the square root. So it'll be that 912.9 square rooted. My value for x, the length of that one should be x equals 30.2. Does that make sense in the steps that I went through? Again, it's a lot of numbers to punch in, but as long as you have these three formulas, or at least the one formula you know where you can plug things in at, it's just a matter of plugging stuff into your calculator. Okay, I'll have you guys talk me through this last one, and this is kind of going to be where I leave it off. Someone talk me through how I can set this one up. I've got triangle ABC. I've got sides AC is 7, BC is 4. I'm missing AB, and I've got 62 degrees, kind of opposite of angle X or side X. How will I write it so I can solve it? Anybody? I'll start off. I'm going to start off with x squared because this is the side that I want to find. And then I got 7 squared plus which one? 4 squared. Fantastic. 4 squared minus 2 times the other two sides. So minus 2 times 4 times 7 times the cosine of 62 degrees. Plugging all this stuff in, I get 49 plus 16 minus times 7. Oops. Make sure I get that one right. So minus 56, and then cosine of 62 is going to be 4 point, I'll kind of put it in a decimal here, times 4 or 0.469. Okay, and now I just gotta push all those ones together. So I've got 0.469 times negative 56. So as I put them all together, I got negative 26.264. 49 plus 16 is 65. So 65 minus 26.264. I get 38.736. So x squared equals that. Don't forget I need to do the square root of that. And I am left with, whoops. I'm left with that length is 6.2. Questions on that part? Okay, the cosine stuff is really all about plugging stuff into these two equations. The last part of this assignment then is going to be page, or just numbers 22 through 26, even. So 3 extra problems.